Hara Hari Bol. Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parijakacharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki, Amacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, प्रेम से गौ श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की, राधा गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की, वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा नवद्वीप धाम की, मायापुर धाम की, गंगा माँ यमुना माए की, भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की, राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माए की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhagavatam class. We'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, Text 36. Pare vare cha ye bhava Pare avar cha ye bhava Guna vyaktarad anu Guna vyakti karadanu Nate shamna vidyate shemam Nate sham vidyate shemam Isha vidva misitasinam Isha vidham sitasyam Parve avar chaye bhava Guna vyakti karad anu Nate sham vidyate shemam Isha vidvam sitasimam Pare avar che ye bhava Guna vyakti karadanu Nate sham vidyate shemam Isha vidvam sita isam Prabhuji. Pare vare che Pare avar che ye bhava Shemam Isha vidvam sita shisham Mataji's Paragavar che mama Guna vyakti kara kara Natesham vidyate shisham Hare avar che ye bhava Guna Karadayo Matesham Vidyate Shema Pare in the higher state of life, status. Avare in the lower status of life. Cha and Ye, all those. Bhava, conceptions. Guna, material qualities. Vyaktikarat, by interaction. Anu, following. Na, never. Tesham, of them. Vidyate, exist. Shemam, correction. Isha, the Supreme Lord. Vidvamsita, destroyed. Ashisham, of the blessings. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. We accept as blessings different states of higher life, distinguishing them from lower states of life. But we should know that such distinctions exist only in relation to the interchange of modes of material nature. Actually, these states of life have no permanent existence, for all of them will be destroyed by the Supreme Controller. Okay, just a little heads up, this is quite a long purport, so I think 90% of my class will just go on reading the purport. But bear with me and please read with attention because it's a lot of meaning given in it. Purport. In our material existence, we accept a higher form of life as blessing and a lower form as a curse. This distinction of higher and lower only exists as long as the different material qualities, gunas, interact. In other words, by our good activities, we are elevated to the higher planetary systems or to a higher standard of life, good education, beautiful body, etc. These are results of pious activities. Similarly, by impious activities, we remain illiterate, get ugly bodies, a poor standard of living, etc. But all these different states of life are under the laws of material nature through the interaction of the qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance. However, all these qualities will cease to act at the time of dissolution of the entire cosmic manifestation. The Lord therefore says in the Bhagavad Gita 18.16, Abrahma bhuvatana loka punar avrtino arjuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punar janma na vidyate. Even though we elevate ourselves to the highest planetary systems by the scientific advancement of knowledge or by religious principles of life, great sacrifices and fruitive activities, at the time of dissolution, these higher planetary systems and life on them will be destroyed. In this verse, the words Isha Vidvam Sitasam indicates that all such blessings will be destroyed by the Supreme Controller. We will not be protected. Our bodies, either in this planet or another planet, will be destroyed, and again we have to remain for millions of years in an unconscious state within the body of Mahavishnu. And again, when the creation is manifested, we have to take birth in different species of life and begin our activities. Therefore, we should not be satisfied simply by promotion to higher planetary systems. We should try to get out of the material cosmic manifestation and go to the spiritual world and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is our highest achievement. We should not be attracted by anything material, higher or lower, but should consider them all on the same level. Our real engagement should be inquiring about the real purpose of life and rendering devotion service to the Lord. Thus we will be eternally blessed in our spiritual activities, full of knowledge and bliss. Regulative human civilization promotes dharma, artha, kama and moksha. In the human society, there must be religion. Without religion, human society is only an animal society. Economic development and sense gratification must be based on religious principles. When religion, economic development and sense gratification are adjusted, liberation from this material birth, death, old age and disease is assured. In the present age of Kali, however, there is no question of religion and liberation. People have taken interest only in economical development and sense gratification. Therefore, despite sufficient economic development all over the world, dealings in human society have become almost animalistic. When everything becomes grossly animalistic, dissolution takes place. This dissolution is accepted to be Isha Vidvam Shitasham. The Lord's so-called blessings of economic development and sense gratification will be conclusively dissolved by destruction. At the end of this Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as the incarnation of Kalki, and his only business will be to kill a human being on the surface of the globe. After that killing, another golden age will begin. We should therefore know that our material activities are just like a childish play. Children play on the beach, and the father will watch this childish play, the construction of buildings with sand, the constructions of wall with so many things. But finally, the father will ask the children to come home. Then everything is destroyed. Persons who are too much addicted to these childish activities of economic development and sense gratification are sometimes favored by the Lord when He destroys their construction of these things. It is said by the Lord, Yasyaham anugrahmi granami harishye tad dhanam saniya. The Lord told Yudhishthir Maharaj that his special favor is shown to his devotee when he takes away all the devotee's material opulences. Generally, therefore, it is experienced that Vaishnavas are not very opulent in material sense. When a Vaishnava, pure devotee, tries to be materially opulent, at the same time desires to serve the Supreme Lord, his devotional service is to be checked. The Lord is, in order to show him special favor, destroys his so-called economic development and material opulences. Thus, the devotee, being frustrated in repeated attempts at economic development, ultimately takes solid shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. This kind of action may be accepted as Isha Vidvam Sita Sham, whereas the Lord destroys one's material opulences but enriches one in spiritual understanding. In the course of our preaching work, we sometimes see that materialistic persons come to us and offer their obeisances to take blessings, which means they want more and more material opulences. If such material opulences are checked, such persons are no longer interested in offering obeisances to the devotees. Such materialistic persons are always concerned about their economic development. They offer obeisances to saintly persons or the Supreme Lord, and they give something in charity for preaching work with a view that they will be rewarded with a further economic development. However, when one is sincere in his devotional service, the Lord obliges the devotee to give up his material development and completely surrender unto Him. Because the Lord does not give blessings to the material opulence of His devotee, people are afraid of worshipping Lord Vishnu because they see Vaishnavas, they are worshippers of Lord Vishnu, are poor in superficial material opulences. Such materialistic persons, however, get immense opportunity for economic development by worshipping Lord Shiva. For Lord Shiva is the husband of Goddess Durga, the proprietor of this universe. By the grace of the Lord, a devotee gets the opportunity to be blessed by Goddess Durga. Ravana, for example, a great worshipper and a devotee of Lord Shiva, in return he got all the blessings of Goddess Durga, so much so that the whole kingdom was constructed of gold buildings. In Brazil, in this present age, huge quantities of gold have been found, and from historical references in the Puranas, we can safely say this was Ravana's kingdom. In this kingdom was, however, destroyed by Lord Ramachandra. By studying such incidents, we can understand full meaning of Isha Vidvam Shitasham. The Lord does not bestow material blessings upon the devotees, for they may be entrapped again in the material world by continuous birth and death and old age and disease. Due to this materialistic opulences, persons like Ravana become puffed up for sense gratification. Ravana even dared to kidnap Sita, who was both the wife of Lord Chandra and the goddess of fortune, thinking that he would be able to enjoy the pleasure potency of the Lord. Actually, by such action, Ravana became Vidvamshita, or ruined. At the present moment, human civilization is too much attached to economic development and sense gratification, and is therefore nearing the path of ruination. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjala Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sargana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvisha Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining today's Bhagavatam class. I would like to start the class by offering my obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees. We have a lot of senior devotees. We have Jai Radhika Mataji and like a lot of people that I really took a lot of inspiration from. And I'm just a humble servant. I've got this service of giving the class, and I would try my best and request all of you to give me your blessing so that the correct words can come out of my mouth and I can do justice to Srila Prabhupada's purports. So I'll read the translation again because there was a lot in the purport. So I think we'll just go through the translation again so we get a rough idea of what we were discussing. Translation. We accept as blessings different states of higher nature, distinguishing them from lower states of life. But we should know that such distinctions exist only in relation to the interchange of the modes of material nature. Actually, these states of life have no permanent existence, for all of them will be destroyed by the Supreme Controller. A lot of things, I was remembering what Shruti Kirti Prabhu had said when he had come over here, and he had said that how Prabhupada used to give them the Krishna book, and somebody used to say, Prabhupada, where do I read from? Which chapter? He said, any chapter. And he said, which sentence? He said, any sentence. And he said, which word? He said, any word. And then Prabhupada got so ecstatic while reading the Krishna book. He said that just by reading this one book properly, one can be fully Krishna conscious. Then he would change his mind in a couple of minutes. He said, just by reading this one chapter, one can be fully Krishna conscious. Just by reading this one sentence, just by reading this one word, somebody can be completely Krishna consciousness. And this is so true actually. We might take it lightly, but the knowledge in the purports of Prabhupada's books are so much. I was in book distribution once, and there was this one person who was not buying this book at all. I was like, Sankalp Prabhu and Mausam Prabhu can justify to this. There are some people you distribute book to and you think that they might buy, and just when they're about to buy, no, they're last moment. But in your mind is like, if I push it a little more, I may just get them to buy the book. So that I found one person like that, and I was really trying to push in them, and they were looking interested, but at the same time they were trying to run away to different places. And finally I just said, you know what? I opened the book, I said, read just this page and then you make up your mind. If you find this book interesting, you let me know, you can take this. If not, then Hare Krishna, please go on your way. They read that just one page and they just couldn't stop. They started flipping through the pages, and I was like, okay, I'm on a time schedule over here, you need to. But they they ended up buying like 2 books. They were so fascinated by, Prabhupada's purpose. So that is the power in these books. Each Sanskrit shloka, that's why in the Bhagavatam class we recite the Sanskrit shloka 3 times, because Sanskrit is actually a very powerful sound vibration. And through Sanskrit, we can then absorb the knowledge very nicely. So thank you all for joining here. So first of all, Hare Krishna Prabhu, would you like a chair by any chance to sit comfortably? Are you fine? All right. So, how many of us know, if you have read the Bhagavatam about the creation, in the second canto it's given in very good detail about the creation. Now, please forgive me if I make any errors in this. You please feel free to correct me. But roughly, this is what I understand of the creation. So, the jiva desires to enjoy independently. First of all, this material world is simply created on one principle, to give a false illusionary enjoyment to the jiva. Every one of us wanted to enjoy like God. And that's why God is so merciful, He doesn't hold us. We are not like robots. God gives us a free will, and in our free will, He is so merciful that He actually abides by our, not abides, but He gives us what we want in a way. So we all actually wanted to be enjoyers. We all wanted to enjoy like God. So God then creates Mahatattva. Mahatattva is a shadow in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is always illuminated. In the Bhagavad Gita said, the spiritual world, there is no sun, there is no moon. It's always illuminated. So the spiritual world is always illuminated, and there is a shadow which is created, in which Krishna expands himself as Mahavishnu or Karna Dakshaya Vishnu. Over there, he lies down on Sheshnag, which is the first expansion. And over there, from each pores of his body, he starts perspiring immensely, which creates the causal ocean. Now, through there, each pore is actually an individual universe. So we can just imagine the expanse of Lord Krishna's power, that He can just by the pores of His body create millions of universe. Like if we just take a tour around North Sydney, we'll get lost, right? Because there's so many buildings, so many complexities. Each building there is an apartment, each apartment there is a room, each room is designed in such a specific way. You open a cupboard, there is so much detail. You keep on opening and there are layers after layers after layers. And even if we, scientists are, from microscopes, they're seeing inside your body also, it's just never ending. There's always something more and more. The cells, arteries, atoms, it's never ending. So that's how expansive Lord's creation is. So just by the pores of His body, He creates these millions of universe, in which He again expands Himself as Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu. Now there is the unmanifested state called Pradhan. The Pradhan is the unmanifested stage, and Prabhupada explains this very nicely by saying that, for example, there is fire, right? Now when the fire extinguishes, what really happens to the fire? It's not like it ceases to exist. The fire just goes into an unmanifested state. The fire is still there, it just is no longer physically manifested in front of us. Similarly, or like the cloud, right? The wind disperses the cloud, and the cloud is still there in the sky, but it's not manifested anymore. But the sky is always existence. So Krishna is always existent, and we are just physical manifestations. Manifestations keep on changing. Now when Krishna expands as Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu, from his navel comes Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma is very puzzled as to where he is. He sees everything is dark in the universe, because the reason the universe is dark is because this universe is made from ignorance. The first tattva in this is the quality of ignorance or tamas. So when Brahma appears in this universe, he is very puzzled as to what to do. And in the water, he hears the two sound vibrations, ta and pa, which means tapa. Tapa means austerities. So Brahma immediately, because of Paramatma, Krishna sitting in his heart, he knows that he is supposed to perform austerities for the creation of the world. So for 1,000 years, 1,000 celestial years, which is like a very long time. 1 year of humans is 1 day of celestials. So 1,000 celestial years, you can do the math on your own. It's very long time. Brahma does meditation, tapa, and then Lord Krishna gets so pleased by Lord Brahma's meditation that in front of Lord Brahma, he can see the spiritual world. Krishna reveals the Vaikuntha. He removes the covering of illusion from Brahma's eyes, and he reveals to him Vaikuntha Lok. And Brahma, and there's very great descriptions of this in the second canto of the Bhagavatam. How then Krishna sees Chintamani Prakarashus Kalpa Vriksha. He sees so many desire trees. Laksha Vriteshu Shurabhe abhipalayantam. He sees Shurabhi cows, thousands of Shurabhi cows. Lakshmi Sahasrashata, Sevavana Govinda Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So he sees so many goddess of fortune serving the Lord. So Lord actually reveals to Brahma the spiritual world, and then it all disappears, and then Brahma is now very keen to know what happens. What did I just see? What is the creation like? And then Lord explains everything to him, how the senses actually are actually the desire of the Virat Purush. Now I'm getting too complex, so I'll give you a very easy example of how the Bhagavatam started this topic, because creation is actually the first important topic we need to learn. All of us sit here and think that we can talk about all these esoteric topics. Oh, Ras Leela, oh, Krishna stealing butter and all that. In reality, we have no idea what all of this means. I was talking to one guy, he's not a devotee, and he was, staring at this Mataji very inappropriately. So I went to him and I said, Prabhu, you're in a sacred place, please have some manners. Then he gives me like a sarcastic comment. Oh, Krishna had thousands of gopis, I can't look at one girl like that. I said, are you Krishna? Just shut up. That is the problem, because we directly go on esoteric topics. The sages were told that you should not directly jump to the esoteric topics. Even the Bhagavatam is structured in such a way that the first two cantos of Bhagavatam are said to be the lotus feet, and the 10th canto of Bhagavatam is the face. Before you go to the face, you should first look at the lotus feet. Even when we are doing darshan, we are told first look at the lotus feet, then look up, and then then you can look up. Not directly stare at Gopinath in his eyes. That's not how we do it. We show a sense of respect. So the sages were recommended that first you understand the source of creation, and when you understand the source of creation, then you will be able to understand the Supreme Lord. Now, Sukadev Goswami, for people who are too materialistic or impersonalist, he made the conception of Supreme Personality of God easy by the Virat Purusha. Now, this is not the same Virat Purusha as the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna shows his universal form. This is sort of a, you can say, if you're too materialistic and you cannot actually meditate on the form of Lord, they have said that you meditate as everything in the universe as a part of Lord. Like the hands of Lord are Indra, or the clouds, if you go outside and you see the clouds, you can meditate as the beautiful hair of Krishna, or the trees are the different hairs on the body of Krishna, or the rivers are the arteries of Krishna. So there are so many beautiful, or the mountains are the bones of Krishna. There are so many beautiful ways where we can actually meditate on Krishna, and then through the Virat Purusha we can finally understand who the Supreme Personality of God is. The different stages of realization, we can start through the Virat Purusha. That's why the second canto first talks about the creation of the material world and the form of Virat Purusha. Now, even in the second canto Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, verse 1, you should all read it. It talks about the summary of what the Bhagavatam is about, what all it does, right? Potion and all of that. All these topics are basically different topic covered by the Lord. How first he talks about creation, the change of Manus, the cycle of Brahma. Now I'm pretty sure, and especially you, Prabhu, since you're like very new, you might be getting confused as to what's going on. So I'll make the topic much more simplified for all of us. First, like I started the class with, the reason why this material world is created is because we all want to falsely become enjoyers. We all falsely want to become God. And this can be seen in every human being. Why do you think the people are so proud of their LinkedIn status? Oh, I'm the CEO of this company. I'm the higher senior technical officer. They try to show off their cars and all of that. I saw one guy who was telling me I spent like $75,000 on getting golden rims on my car. Why do you think people will do all of that? Why do we all have intrinsic, even in clothes, right? We can see we like to wear these all branded clothes and look very fashionable. We are always trying to gain the status of God deep down inside, because that is the very reason, that's the trigger from which we came into the material world. And this is not even prevalent in human beings, it's prevalent in each and every animal. If you see in the jungle, if you see Animal Planet Discovery Channel in childhood, we used to watch all of that. I saw one video of a lion, right? The lion is just walking around like, I'm the king over you guys, better show me respect. And then there's one deer and he says, he is mine, why can't I attack him? And he goes and pounces on the deer, he eats him, then he goes and sleeps. We are all trying to falsely enjoy. Even a small ant in this world is trying to falsely enjoy as God. But in reality, that is all illusion. Because what we don't understand is Krishna created the whole universe from himself. So technically, the whole universe is nothing but Krishna. And this also explains, like in the second offense of chanting of the holy name, we say to consider the names of Lord Vishnu to be equal to or independent of the names of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. What does this mean actually? A lot of people are very confused. Till date, I know a lot of devotees who still don't understand the meaning completely for this. What does this mean? Now, one way of understanding this is, yes, the names of Lord Vishnu is supreme. Nobody can compare, you can't say Mausam Prabhu and Krishna's name is supreme. They're two different names. Krishna has a transcendental name. And at the same time, all other names are also belonging to Krishna. If I'm to say, Suman Prabhu is a very physically fit guy, in a way, indirectly, without me knowing, I'm actually praising Krishna. That look at Krishna's opulence. Krishna has is the holder of the opulence of strength, and he is given the boon to Suman Prabhu so he can reflect the opulence of Krishna in a minute degree. In a way, we are all, if we look at other people also, other devotees or other people, we can see Krishna in all of them. There's the famous Bhagavad Gita shloka, I think everybody knows. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Vihastini Sunicheva Swapakecha Pandita Sama Darshana. That a Pandita, an intelligent person, sees everybody as with equal lens. Because in reality, everybody is an expansion of Krishna. We are not created out of nothing. Krishna is the source. He is the fuel. So he has used himself to expand as all jivas, as the material world. An interesting fact is, even the name Shiva is actually for Krishna. We usually, foolish people, or most of us, we are so ignorant, we think that Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna are different. But quality wise, they might be different. Krishna has more opulences, etc. Another name for Krishna is Shiva. Shiva means the all auspicious one. And why is Krishna called Shiva? Because while we are all contaminated by the material world, even though we are part of Krishna's superior energy, we get contaminated and we become marginal energy. But Lord Shiva is uncontaminated by it. So he is said to be all auspicious. He is never affected by it. So this is the quality that is explained to us. So in next time when we go out, and the main meditation should be, how can I see everything as Krishna? How can we see the hand of Krishna in everything? Otherwise we get stuck in the complications of life. Oh, my life is so bad. Which either we are confused in our own false ego, or we see it in a higher transcendental lens as Krishna. Now we are all falsely trying to enjoy in this material world, but there is no real enjoyment. Is there? Is there any enjoyment in this material world? Real enjoyment? Little bit? Are you sure? What's the enjoyment? The enjoyment that we so even think that is the enjoyment. I'll tell you one interesting pastime. I'll keep it short. Indra was once cursed that you were too proud of being the king of heaven. So he was cursed to become a pig. Now, Indra, think about it. Heaven is such an opulent place, right? There's whatever opulence you think is not even like a worth a dust in front of the heavenly opulences. Indra was enjoying that for so many millions of years. And now he's cursed to be a degraded pig. And if you've seen pigs, they don't live in very opulent conditions. You know, they're covered with like muddy areas with full of stool and waste, and they're just jumping on each other. It's very bad condition. Now, Indra, when he gets cursed to become a pig, he stays there, and now because he's Indra, obviously, even in the pig community, he becomes very opulent. He was the king of heaven, now he becomes the king of pigs. You know, he has this little friend pig who's a follower of him. He has female pigs who he enjoys with. He has, pigs who listen to his orders. He says, today we'll eat stool from here, and they all go together. And they're all very happy. And Indra's feeling very proud, like, see, we are all, I'm controlling them. I'm getting them to do things as I want to. And he was completely ignorant of the fact that now he's living in such a degraded condition. He started actually enjoying this condition, and he started enjoying eating the stool and falling in warm mud and just living a very pathetic, degraded life. He started enjoying that smaller pigs will start taking commands. He found a female pig. He had little piglets. He started looking after them. Started having time outs with them. They used to go to places and enjoy. So he completely forgot that at one point of time he was the kingdom of heaven, and now he started enjoying as a degraded pig. And then Narad Muni actually came and told him that, Indra, what's going on? You were the king of heaven. Why you like go back to your original position? Why you now enjoying as a pig? And Indra actually wanted to hold on to that position. He actually said, no, 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 I want to stay here. I'm having a good time. So this enjoyment also, which Prabhu you mentioned about, it's all actually illusionary, because we might think that we're enjoying, but in reality, where is the enjoyment? There is not even a little bit enjoyment in this material world if we try to enjoy through our material senses. It's just we are, like I was seeing this one guy. It was on the news all over. He wanted to propose to this girl, so he bought like iPhone, the latest iPhone, and he like made one heart out of it, and tried to do all of these things to impress her. And when she finally came, she said no, and he was completely heartbroken and everything like that. Or there are so many people who in the internet try to show that they're living the best life, they're living the most fantastic life. In reality, when you see them, you see they're living such pathetic lives. So the cause of that is because there cannot be practically any enjoyment. If you whatever your original characteristic is, you're always going to remain the same. If like Prabhupada used to say, a typewriter, whether it's going to heaven or hell, a typewriter is always going to stay a typewriter. Similarly, a jiva sarup hoye Krishna Nityadas. We are all servants of God. So no matter how much we try to falsely enjoy in this material world, that is never actually going to be possible, because it is never a characteristic to be the enjoyer. We are always supposed to be the servant. But we don't understand this, and we keep on making endeavors in human life. The first stuti in the Vedanta Sutra is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. And Ved Vyas actually expands on this topic in the first canto, the first chapter, the first verse, 1.1.1 of the Bhagavatam. He expands this completely. He gets us to realize that actually Krishna is both simultaneously present, at the same time he is not present in the material world. Now, how can we say that Krishna is not present in the material world? How can we say that he is present in the material world? Because if anybody has read any books, we know that Krishna is, even though everything is expanding from him, he is uncontaminated by it. Then how can we understand that everything is actually part of Krishna's energy? And this comes from the verse Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya, which means I am the taste of water. So he is not only expanding and through his energy is creating all of this, he is also in some way personally being involved in that personal energy. He comes in the form of taste, he comes in the form of smell, he comes in various different ways. So we need to realize that Krishna is ultimately the source of all pleasure, and our job is to perform service towards Krishna, and in return we get the pleasure. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking to Ramananda Rai, he was told that Ramananda Rai, don't judge him by his Shudra characteristics. Actually, he's a very learned scholar. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered obeisances onto Ramananda Rai, and he said that, Ramananda Rai, I've heard a lot of good things about you, and I heard you're a very knowledgeable man. Can you enlighten me a little bit on what is the highest goal of life? And Ramananda Rai starts by following the Varna Ashrama Dharma, that first one should have religious standards, religious principles in their lives, and through those religious principles, then you can look for economic development. In today's society, we completely remove the dharma part of dharma, arth, kam, moksha. We only directly jump in, kam and arth. We're just looking at these things. Nobody wants liberation and nobody wants religious principles. So the Ramananda Rai said first one should have some religious principles in their life. Then through the Varna Ashrama Dharma, follow the 4 Varnas, and then from there you can have some material enjoyment, some economical gain, material enjoyment, and finally liberation. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says you can do better than this. There has to be something more that you can tell me. And he keeps on giving him various reasons. And finally, when he realizes that Lord Chaitanya is, he is asking for the highest taste, he goes on very esoteric topics. He talks about how Srimati Radharani is the ultimate enjoyer. Out of all the gopis, Lord Krishna loves Srimati Radharani so much, and he talks about the Rasa dance. And then finally, Lord Chaitanya, completely ecstatic, completely exuberant. He says, tell me more, tell me more. And then Ramanand Rai, who's actually, Lalita Sakhi, he's actually going to speak the, I think, Vishaka Manjari, not Lalita, something like that. Vishaka? Yeah. So he was just about to say something, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, stop. After this, the general people will just get confused. They won't be able to understand these higher levels and higher tastes. So we should understand that in service actually there is true joy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specially came just to enjoy this desire of service. But unfortunately, forget about service. We are just trying to enjoy as the Lord Himself. Even though we understand this, we have so much knowledge. We read the Bhagavad Gita, we read the Bhagavatam, we have so much knowledge, we're chanting the holy name. Even then, as devotees also, we are trying to enjoy falsely as the God. We are always running about some false way. I did this service. I've been here how many years? How long have you been here? Oh, newbie. You know who I am? We try to show off like this. We put a very nice tilak and we walk around very proud. Look at my tilak. We are trying to enjoy subtly through all of these ways and use the garb of being a devotee, saying that I'm a devotee, so I'm above all of these people. That is not, Ghanshyam Prabhu said that you should not judge a Vaishnava by how many years he spent or how many, what service he does. You judge them or look at them by their attitude. How much mercy is Krishna giving them? How humble they are. My Bhakti Shastri teacher, Himanga Chaitanya Prabhu, he is truly my idol. Because when he speaks, he has so much depth and knowledge. He can just tell you so much about the Mahabharata in detail. He'll break each word and he'll explain the meaning behind. I was like just completely flabbergasted when I was hearing him speak. But if you see him in the temple, he's the simplest guy. He'll come, he'll give Charan Amrit to somebody, he will take the fire and he'll try to do menial services, as menial as possible. And that immediately I could recognize is the quality of a good senior Vaishnava. A senior devotee is not looking for the glorification and pride in doing their services. They're just happy to serve. And the more menial service you actually take into, the more Krishna is happy with you. Ayendra Prabhu once had told, who's that Prabhu? I think Madhav Prabhu, who had come to ISKCON. So Madhav Prabhu was actually telling that Ayendra Prabhu in Vrindavan, after we used to sing hours and hours of Kirtan, he used to say, let's clean the washroom. And Madhav Prabhu said, washroom? And if you know anything in India, the washrooms are pretty filthy. So he said, why do you want to clean the washroom? And Ayendra Prabhu in Vrindavan temple was very respected. Everybody used to love his kirtans. He had DVDs of his music albums all over the world. He was a very popular guy. And Ayendra Prabhu was saying, let me do the job of cleaning the washrooms. And Madhav Prabhu was like, why do you want to clean the washrooms? And he says, with each scrub in the washroom, you're actually cleaning your heart. And that is the quality. You accept menial services without looking for any glorification. It's not like we all start like this. I would say book distribution is the most humbling service in that way, because all of us start book distribution with the sense of false pride, and we have to admit it. All of us start like that. We all go, oh, Bhava Prabhu will announce my score tomorrow in front of everybody, and everybody will clap and say Hari Bol and look at me, and I'll be like, yeah. But when you actually go for book distribution, Lord Chaitanya makes sure that even a little fragment of ego is completely crushed. He completely destroys your ego. After so many rejections, after so many people saying Jesus Christ is the only Lord and Savior, who are you to come? All of those people you meet, when your ego is completely nullified, then Lord Chaitanya bestows buckets of mercy on you. And then even when your name is announced, you don't have a tinge of pride. Because you appreciate the mercy. You know that at the end of the day, it's all mercy. I'm just an instrument. That is the quality of a senior devotee. We should understand that this is what actually pleases Krishna. Krishna is pleased by our genuine service. Another thing which I found very interesting, which I wanted to touch on, I don't think I have much time, but I'll quickly touch on this, is it says Brazil was actually said to be, where Ravana resided. Now we might get confused because we all think Ravana was from Sri Lanka, but why they saying Brazil? Now in every kalpa actually, the Leela is different. The more or less it's the same, but there are a lot of changes. Like there is a cave in Texas where people claim that Ravana this was the cave where Ravana performed tapasya. And it actually might be. Because in every kalpa, the Leela is different. Like in the Bhagavatam, it's given about Lord Buddha, and we all usually know that Lord Buddha came to stop animal sacrifices. But in the Bhagavatam, it's given about Lord Buddha coming to save the demigods, and it gets confusing. And then Prabhupada writes that in each kalpa, in each cycle, the Lord's incarnation comes for a different thing. Like in previous Kali Yuga, the incarnation in the Kali Yuga was Lord Balaji or Tirupati. This time it's Lord Chaitanya. And what is the advantage we can say that Lord Chaitanya gives us? Is that even though Kali Yuga is so unfortunate, people are so materialistically driven, so completely engrossed in sense indulgence, just looking what can I eat next, what can I do next, what can I watch next, where can I go to enjoy my senses as much. Those things, even though it's at the maximum in Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya simply says you chant the holy name and you can experience the highest bliss. He gives you Vraj Prem. Vraj Prem is the highest, even in the Vaikuntha planets, the highest planet is Goloka. And Lord Chaitanya gives you the mercy and the love of, Vrindavan. So this is actually a very, very important opportunity. All of us say, okay, yeah, I've heard of this thousands of times, say something new. But do we actually understand the meaning of it? When we chant names, I've seen most people, they just want to chant so that they can finish the 16 rounds and get on with work. But with each mantra that you're chanting, you should know the fact that this is a very rare opportunity. In billions of years, I'm getting the opportunity. I'm getting the name, the holy name. This is a very, very potent, very, very powerful. We should not take this casually. In each name of Krishna, we should see the lotus feet of Krishna. We should treat it with that much respect. I've seen one guy who kept his japa beads anywhere and they walk and they chant and they're looking. The Amarendra Prabhu was saying the hole in their chanting bag is now where we usually keep our index finger, has now become for scrolling the phone. That has become a situation. We don't actually give respect. Devotees will... this is something which always blew my mind. I have seen two devotees will talk. One will chant Hare Krishna, other guy will talk. And then when the guy has to respond, he will start talking, another guy will do. And while he's listening, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Oh, yes, Prabhu, yes. And then it will just go on like that. This is not how you treat the holy name. This is some joke or what? This holy name is something that you get very, very rarely, and that's why we read the Sri Namamrita, because when we appreciate the glories of the holy name, when we understand how important the holy name is, then we can actually respect it. We can show our respect to Nam Prabhu. But right now, we should not take these things, this mercy that Krishna, Gopinath has given us very lightly. It's the biggest mistake that we can do. Imagine I come here and I do so much, I sacrifice so much for you, I help you out completely. And at the end of the time, you're ungrateful. When the Yaksha was asking Yudhishthir Maharaj different questions, he asked this whole section of Mahabharata where the Yaksha asked Yudhishthir Maharaj very complicated philosophical questions. And he says, what's the biggest sin that a man can do? And he says, being ungrateful. Being ungrateful is the worst thing you can do. And especially to Gopinath. Think about your life before you came into Krishna consciousness. How miserable. It may not be very miserable. You might have been okay. But now if you compare it to your present status in life, after you come into Krishna consciousness, you will automatically build that. I was going through my phone gallery and I was talking to my friend and I was saying, I don't remember in the last, 1 year, a single day where I've actually felt depressed. Every day is more blissful. I was looking in my gallery, we were all jumping during Nityanand Triyodashi or Gaur Purnima, everybody is having fun and all the videos are there. We are like dancing. There's the retreat which happened where we had fun. Every month has been some blissful experience. Now we have Janmashtami coming up. I hope we are all excited for that because that is one of the biggest days, especially for us, because it's where Gopinath appeared. So, all these days are so blissful. This journey of Krishna consciousness is so blissful. But unfortunately, we get caught up with the small things. Oh, this Prabhu didn't allow me to do this service. Oh, this person is not letting me. This guy is showing me. Does it matter? Does it seriously matter? Why are you so caught up in small things of life? You should be more appreciative to the blessings that Gopinath has given you. Just by taking a little bit of prasad, it is guaranteed that the person will take a human birth. He will not take an animalistic birth. Even though he might be the most sinful person, by taking prasad, that's the mercy. I've seen so many people just throw prasad. And after festivals, you see, I saw one guy on the washroom, he left one plate of prasad. What a rascal. Is this how you treat? Prasad is sanctified food. With each grain of prasad, we should actually be experienced. You should see videos on YouTube of how Prabhupada honored prasad. He shooed off everybody in the room. Alone in front of him was the plate of prasad. He used to do Mahaprasad Govinde, and then quietly, each bite, he used to completely be absorbed in the love of Krishna. That is how you honor prasad. Nowadays, it's like two people are chatting. Oh, Prabhu, how's your life? It's all prajalpa outside, and they're eating prasad. Oh, I don't like pakoda. I want this. I don't want this. I want. This is not the way you show respect to prasad. Prasad is something very sanctified. So, ungratefulness is the worst quality which we can develop. So, as Vaishnavas, as practicing devotees, we should try to find more and more reasons in which we can see Krishna. Because everything is actually Krishna. If a Prabhuji, like right now, I wasn't going to give Bhagavatam class. During Guru Puja, Shivain came and I said, Prabhu, can you give Bhagavatam class? I'm busy. You should see Krishna. I directly saw that Krishna has actually sent him. And what is the odds, right? At the last moment, he comes and tells me. In every aspect of your life, this is the habit that we should develop. How can I see Krishna in this? Not that how can I get my ego into this and feel hurt. Oh, this Prabhuji didn't let me do this service. Oh, this Prabhuji told me to do this. This Prabhuji made fun of my... These are very small, inconceivable, very pathetic ways, outlook of life. And as Vaishnavas, if you want to go and perform services like book distribution, you want to give the world the mercy of Prabhupada's books and the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, you cannot do that if you yourself don't have it. There was one guy, I don't want to name him. He used to do a lot of book services, and he could never do that much. Not that it matters. I mean, just doing the service is very important. But he used to not be able to. And when other people did it, they used to just one after the other just give books. And he used to say, why am I unable to do it? And I said, have you read the Bhagavad Gita once also? He said, no, Prabhu, I'm just on the 4th chapter, but I'm not very interested in all of things. But I chant, Prabhu, I chant. Just chanting is not good enough. These books are given. Prabhupada lost his sleep. Day and night, he used to sleep 2 hours just to write these books. We can't even read these books. At least 5-10 minutes a day, we don't touch these books. We don't touch it. We are not interested in the books. We are more interested, when will my favorite prasad come? When will Mahaprasad come? We'll go into the kitchen and we'll look for Mahaprasad. But we won't read the books. Toshan Prabhu had said a very nice thing. Bhagavatam class is for neophytes. I think... what's his name? Nityanand Pran Prabhu also mentioned this, but he had told it in front of me. He said that Bhagavatam class is for neophytes. Actually, the Bhagavatam is supposed to be relished throughout your entire life. Nityam Bhagavatam Sevya. The Bhagavatam, if you actually open it and start reading it, you realize each verse, each purport is so relishable. You don't want to stop. Even after you close the book, you should be meditating on what you have just read, because that's the power and quality of Bhagavatam. But we wait that when will this guy stop talking so we can go and take prasad. Bhagavatam is supposed to be held. The Bhagavatam, one last fun fact, was eternally existent. Abhishek Prabhu had said this. When the Bhagavatam says, Narada Uvacha, or this Muni said this, the Bhagavatam is eternal. The Bhagavatam is one quality, the potency of Mahatattva. So that means this was emanating from Krishna. So the Bhagavatam is eternal. The Bhagavatam is also uncontaminated from material mode. So when the Bhagavatam says that this sage said this, then this sage is actually created. The Bhagavatam's words actually cause creation. Each word in the Bhagavatam is what Krishna then manifests in the material world. That is the potency of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam exists even after the destruction of the world. That is the quality of Bhagavatam. But we don't want to read this. We will do 10 other things than read the Bhagavatam. So, ultimately, we should, and this is what the translation says, and I'll end with this because I'm sorry Mataji, I said I'll end by 9, but the purport was too long in my defense. What does it say? That we accept blessings, different stages of life, higher stage, lower states of life, but we should know such distinctions exist only in relation to material modes of nature. Actually, these states of life have no permanent existence. The heater, the AC, the fan, the heater gives you hot air, the AC gives you cold air. But at the end of the day, they're all powered by electricity. The electricity is the same. So we might say it's only because of our foolish ignorance that we start making distinctions. Oh, this guy is from my country, this guy is not. This guy is this skin color, this guy is not. This guy is doing this guy is not. This guy has been devotee for 2 years, I'm 4 years. We make these distinctions because we are ourselves in ignorance. In reality, nothing is different from Krishna. And when we develop this habit of seeing Krishna in everything in our life, then we can say we are actually progressing in bhakti. We have to see Krishna's mercy in everything. Like I'm telling you, watch that video of Prabhupada taking prasadam. You will automatically gain respect for prasadam. With each bite, he would eat it with complete ecstasy. With each word of the Bhagavatam, why did he say that even a single word? He was in ecstatic joy. You can understand the mood which Shrutakirti Prabhu was talking about. When you're excited, like you've seen this movie, you just can't stop. You go almost into a fit. Oh, this movie, just this scene, you can't talk also. You get so ecstatic about it. So Prabhupada was on that state of ecstasy when he was describing these books. So with that, I'll conclude. Key notes to take from this is that we should understand that good, bad, ugly, everything is essentially different modes of material nature. And modes are interchangeable. Even somebody in the mode of goodness can fall down, right? It's not necessarily that if you're in the mode of goodness, you're now liberated. So each mode is actually emanating from Krishna. So our job is to not see, like, I'll give this example and end. If you throw a bone to a dog will just see a bone. But if you throw a bone to a lion, the lion will not see the bone. The lion will see who has thrown the bone. Similarly, when distresses, when problems, or when good things come into our life, mercy comes into our life, don't be caught up in just the small things of life. Don't have a small perspective. Somebody gives you an opportunity to do big seva. Oh, I'm actually such a great devotee that this person gave me this seva. Or I'm such a big thing, or this guy is such a rascal that he didn't allow me to do this. These are all small perspectives. These are all in the mode of ignorance. We should always see Krishna's hand in everything. Once we start seeing Krishna's hand in anything, then with each name of the mantra, we can actually connect to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.